first, let's do a quick sponsor.
Oh, we're gonna do sponsors.
Let's do a quick sponsor goof, huh?
Yeah, sure.
You got it? Do you have anything? Give it to me. Give me something.
This week's episode is brought to you by the Carpet of Dread. Don't touch it. Boy.
Oh,
really gotcha.
That one got me good. Don't touch. Just the. Yeah,
that's all. That's all the copy I have. I think maybe that's the difference, like, of our personalities, is because, like, I do have an earnest side that like really, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I can be very earnest sometimes, and it makes everybody uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Hey,
everybody! Welcome to the Probcast episode 0007.
I think we fucking nailed it. 006.
No, 7. Right? Gotta be.
This is 6.
Is
unless
it?
Unless we recorded something after Nier.
No, Nier would be the last one.
Yeah. 007. 6.
6? Episode 6?
Yeah, it's 6.
They're flying by. Can't even think about it. Don't know what's going on.
About it.
This is a show where me and my friend Jason and normally Thomas has only been on like one or two of these. Though,
I don't think it is normally now because
he's more often than
generally
not,
not on them.
it. Yeah. This should be the last Thomas free episode though.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think he's coming home. He's coming home this week, so that'll be good to get
put
him
in
back
that
mix.
song. I'm coming home. Put that in there.
Yeah, I'll put that right in here. I'll pay for it. It'll be good. This is a show where me and my friend Jason and sometimes our friend Thomas, we talk about video game news for a little bit, and then we discuss some games that we've been playing because it matters and you need to hear it. So here we go. We'll just go right into the news here. I did pick out 3 stories that I thought you might give any kind of a shit about because last time I did not. Nintendo, because Nintendo's dominating the news cycle and in all of our hearts these days.
Our minds.
Minds, hearts, Donald Trump. Super Mario Run, quote, didn't meet expectations for them. Which is not super surprising because it's not a great game. And also... like it's also pretty expensive.
I paid for it, and I
paid for it too, and I finished all the level, but like it's fine. It was neat. Like they definitely. There's another news story about Fire Emblem Heroes, but I didn't think you'd want to talk about that because you didn't play that, but
I did.
Oh, you did? Well, maybe we will talk about it. But this game was fine. Like it is it's an okay game, and it's a $10 okay game.
Too expensive.
I think that it probably would have done better if they hadn't given you the 3 levels out front for free.
Right. I bought it and I haven't played it, so
yeah. Like I think more people would have just bought it sight unseen than people like getting into it and playing the first 3 levels and being like, all right, and then not buying it. But that
seems like a weird, like completely unproven business model.
Yeah,
that no one has done like ever. Like I don't think that anybody else does that.
It's like a demo.
No others,
I guess.
No other success. Yeah, but no other successful iOS game has done that.
No, that's not how the iOS game work.
Yeah. So the fact that they did that, I think probably pissed off the iOS base because they're like maybe they are Nintendo fans. You know what I mean? But
sure.
This is like a completely different thing, and it's like, oh boy, it's not the greatest.
I don't know how much it costs to make shit like that. The assets were not. They didn't have to recreate the assets or anything, so I don't know.
Oh really?
They probably farted this out for like $4.
It's like one guy just made it.
Yep.
And it's like is in his Nintendo basement office.
I would not be surprised if that's what happened. Like some Japanese guy was like, "Oh, we just make him run from one side to the other," and he showed it to an executive, and he was like,
Yeah.
"What? Can we sell this? Do you think?" The statement that Nintendo released also said that they say that the way that Fire Emblem Heroes works, which I think it seems for all intents and purposes successful, is like the way they don't want to do it because they're Nintendo and have integrity as a developer.
Right. Yeah.
They don't want to just make money off of whales.
Yeah.
But Fire Emblem Heroes is really good. Like it's not good enough for you to pay for it, but it's very well made. It's a little too light mechanic wise for it to be like something that you pay for, but it is a good game, so I'm confident that they will continue that trajectory. But this makes me feel a little better about the Animal Crossing game since they're saying they don't want to do it Fire Emblem Heroes style, which I was very worried about. Like it was just gonna be full of microtransactions and shit. Because that game, Animal Crossing is ripe for some microtransactions for sure. Like you could buy. You don't want to gather this fruit? Give us $1. You have all the fruit
you can
you
just
need.
buy as many bananas as you want.
Yeah, that's So I am that gives me a little bit. I'm a little bit more confident that game will be good, but it did get delayed, so hopefully it's good.
I hope. Yeah, but also Fire Emblem Heroes was a success, and the Mario Run wasn't necessarily a huge success.
But Mario Run wasn't a very good game. That was its issue. It wasn't that it was a good game that nobody played. It's that it was like a fine game that was too expensive for what it was. Because people, I've put over $10 into Fire Emblem Heroes for sure.
I think if you get that percentage up, like you know what I mean. Like don't put it at $9.99. Like that's a crazy price for a mobile game.
Or put it out front. Like, don't just be like, here's the Animal Crossing game, it's $10. You want it or not?
Yeah.
And most people be like, yeah, I do want it. I want to play it. And they'll just give you the $10 up front instead of giving them the opportunity to play it, realize they don't like it, and then not pay.
Right. Also, Animal Crossing is there's not really like a point at which you can be like, oh, you're hooked. You'd like to play the rest of this. So buy this money.
Yeah, that's fair. The thing about Animal Crossing that I'm most worried about is that there's no way it can meet my. Of course, Zelda, I guess, but Animal Crossing doesn't seem like it's going to be able to meet my expectations for what a mobile Animal Crossing needs to be.
Right. Basically what you want is Animal Crossing.
Yeah, it needs to just be Animal Crossing that I can play anywhere, because I've told the story maybe on the show before. I think maybe on the old comic books podcast, but like where I had my 3DS and I had to pull over on the side of the road because I was driving, and something like there was some kind of event happening in Animal Crossing at like 1 p.m. and I was in the car, and so I had to like pull over and get my 3DS out and do all that stuff, and that's core. That's that good Animal Crossing shit right there. So if that's just with me all the time, that would be very good.
Yeah.
So
it would also ruin your life.
Anyway, so that's your Nintendo iOS games update.
Yeah.
You play them.
Yeah, thanks for joining us for Nintendo Minute.
We're almost done talking about Nintendo. Well, that's our only Nintendo news story, I think.
At least so. Yeah.
Fire Emblem Heroes.
That's all I think about, really.
Fire Emblem Heroes, they took your fatigue or whatever, your stamina from 50 to 99, or they're going to, so you can play more without having to buy. So that's good. It's a quality of life update. Moving right along past that, is GameStop apparently didn't do very good during the holidays this year, and will be closing 150 stores in 2017.
Yeah, I read about this.
Which seems like a lot. I think that there's how many do they have though?
7,500.
7,500.
Yeah.
In 14 countries, and they're closing 150, which doesn't seem like a lot.
Yeah.
But
that's a good percentage.
It's a solid amount. Especially if it's one where you live, because I'm betting that some of the where I grew up, that one's probably on the chopping block. Because it's like a tiny little town, or or whatever. Of course, there's like Birmingham where there's one every like fucking 8 feet. So maybe they're closing down a couple of those.
I think that's probably more what it is. Like, I don't know. Like, and I feel like maybe in towns that like don't have as much exposure to that stuff, like that's the place to go to get a game thing.
That's probably true. You're probably
You know
right.
what I mean? So they're probably actually more successful there. Because like there's not 16 of them. Yeah,
because like at a certain point, Birmingham, no joke, the mall down in Hoover had 2 in it. Like for a while, because this was back before EB Games and GameStop were the same company. There was an EB Games and a GameStop in the same mall, and then GameStop bought EB Games.
When I was growing up.
Yeah, GameStop bought EB Games.
Did they?
And, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, GameStop bought EB Games, and then that one continued to be EB Games for a minute, and then got a GameStop sign. So there were just 2 GameStops within like 100 yards of each other. So yeah, 150 stores, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Like I hate going into GameStop for the most part because the people that work there are very obnoxious for the
nerd lords.
They just want to play video games and they needed a job, so this is like the thing that made the most sense for them. There's at my local GameStop, there's one guy that's like the manager there is like really, really nice and cool. So I don't mind going there, but this is like more than Amazon for some reason, because the things that I replace with Amazon are like big box places that suck anyway, like Walmart and shit. But like GameStop still feels like almost kind of a small business, and it's like these people need jobs. Like, what are they going to do if they close like the moody GameStop down? Where are those people going to go to work? And because it makes me feel bad, like, because I could just go to GameStop and get the game and probably play it more quickly because I'll be buying the physical copy versus PSN download for like 12 hours.
This is flawed. This is a flawed line of logic here.
Why?
Because it's just like, oh boy, I'm gonna go buy a new buggy, even though I can buy a car to get the buggy. I'm gonna go feed the horses, even though I can buy like a Tesla. Like it's just like it's a dinosaur. It's dead. Like it's been dead for years. It's been propping itself up with like really shitty business practices. Yeah, I have no problem this being like the end of GameStop. They could all blow up for all I care. Like it's awful. Like it's an awful place. It is they do have some shady business practices, but it's still like giving like local people jobs to do. I guess. Get a
what do you mean you
guess?
Else. Get a job anywhere else? You can't just go get a job, Jason. It's hard to get a job.
Oh yeah, retail jobs are real hard to come by.
Because of shit like this. Because all the retail stores are closing because of the digital. The GameStop will never go away. Like there will always be people that want to buy physical games and trade them back in. Like that's they may downsize considerably.
Did you see what they said? Because they said something about like they're opening new stores. Like they're opening collectible stores
and technology brands. So like because they own like Cricket Wireless and shit like that.
Yeah.
And also they have like a line of fake Apple stores.
This is certainly not a small business. This is a huge.
I'm not, but because I live in like an Alabama suburb, so like the people that work, it feels more personal.
This is Babbage's.
Yeah, it feels like a Babbage's. You know,
a CD replay,
a KB Toys, if you will. Anyway, it is because like it is an awful place to go. It's a terrible place.
It's a shitty company. It's shitty people.
They have less than scrupulous business practices. Yes, but if you are not a dum-dum, you can kind of see through them. But
right,
they get you. People do it.
I think I think they mismanaged it. I think they could because there is like a ton of like real physical stuff that people want to do, but like they've just kind of fucked themselves because they're such assholes.
Well, they blame it on console sales, poor console sales, or aggressive console promotions on Black Friday that they couldn't compete with. And also certain AAA titles that is normally their bread and butter didn't sell very well this year. So like Call of Duty. It didn't sell.
What a bunch of horseshit.
I don't think so. Like I think most of the people that like are big Call of Duty boys go to GameStop and go get Call of Duty, like 100%. Like you don't think so? Like I think people who like get online and call people the N-word and play Call of Duty for sure go to GameStop and talk to
buy it. What?
Yeah.
No, they know how. No, those idiots know how to like download it on the internet. Yeah.
No,
it's not hard to do that.
I know it's not hard to do it. I'm just telling you.
Why would I do that? I can just do this site. Like, who's going to like Redbox? You know what I mean? Like it's like old
a lot of people.
And...
A lot of people go to Redbox. Everyone in the state of Alabama goes to Redbox. Every time I ever pass a Redbox where I live, it's got like 3 people in line for it trying to rent that movie for $1. Like it's physical media. We don't all live in Silicon Valley, Jason. Physical media still means something to
people.
I don't
either, dude. I live in just shitty white people.
Just right in the heart of Silicon Valley. I know where you live.
No, like I live in Orange County. It's like shitty white people town.
But
like we have tons of shitty white people. Don't worry.
Yeah, right in the heart of the valley. But I think it is 100% a perspective thing. Like people buy physical and rent physical shit still here in the heartland.
Seems so stupid to me.
Well, that's what I say. I buy physical media. Like I have Game Bucks, so like the only thing I can do with it is buy physical media, pretty much. So
you're like trapped in an archaic system. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, but it's fine. It costs the same. Like who cares?
I just think direct sales is like the way it's going. People like to have a collection. People are weird, but I think that's gone, right? I mean, like it's by the time like kids now grow up in like an iOS, like with an iOS attitude, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not gonna go to a GameStop and buy a video game, like unless there's some reason for them to do it.
I mean, maybe, but you got to kind of look at it from like what's another example is iTunes, right? Destroyed physical CDs like entirely,
right? Right.
And they still exist, but no one buys them. Like weird audiophiles buy them, and that's it. But that happened fast. Like that if you're going by that model, it would already be that, and it's not.
I had MP3s for a real long time, and I was still burning to CDs.
But you're talking about you, Jason. Like we're smart and know the internet. Most people don't.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like what are people that don't have good internet going to do if they don't have physical copy of game? Some people are on like satellite internet, can't download a game.
That's true.
So like the GameStop will always exist. The issue is like do they need 7,500 stores? And the answer to that is no. Starcraft Remastered coming this summer, guys. It's coming back, and Blizzard did it. They somehow managed to remaster Starcraft, and they're putting it out so that you can play it. Jason, you big Starcraft man? You love Starcraft, huh?
Oh yeah. Definitely came in on it like right when it came out. So it wasn't like completely impossible to play by the time I got to it.
Yeah, because it's not fun to play.
That's definitely not what happened.
It's impossible to learn how to play because people are too good and they'll Zergrosh you.
Like 3 million Koreans.
Mm-hmm. So mostly Koreans
aren't better than you'll ever be at any other game ever.
Yeah. Excuse me. So, like, basically, you can. It's sort of like one of those remakes of like Day of the Tentacle and Maniac Mansion and shit, where you can go back to like the regular graphics if you are a crazy person.
You press a button. Change back to regular graphics.
But they also like remastered it in full 16:9 and redid all the assets and stuff like that, which doesn't seem like a huge deal because they did do StarCraft 2: Wings of Liberty, which is pretty much the same game. But something about the way that StarCraft 1 is balanced, I think people prefer it.
People play StarCraft a lot. Brood War, whatnot.
Yeah. So it's coming. You play it.
See, here's the problem. I won't play it because people are still just as good at it. In fact, there's been 10 years now.
Yeah, but there's no. I don't think there's not currently like a ranking matchmaking system for StarCraft 1, is there?
I believe so. Yeah, for sure.
Really? So
they're still playing it on TV in Korea.
No, I know,
like,
but
there's a channel.
I know, but if I start out as a level 1, is it going to try to find level 1s for me to play with?
I don't think so. No,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
is that going to happen?
I don't know, but I imagine it will, because they're basically rebuilding it from the ground up, putting it on what used to be called BattleNet, which also, by the way, went away last week.
Wait, BattleNet's gone?
It's not called BattleNet anymore. It's called
What's it called?
Blizzard Network or something.
No, I just went to battle.net and
yeah, it still exists as as an entity, but they're transitioning it. They're getting rid of the name BattleNet.
Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, Wizards of the Coast. Got any other thoughts on remastered StarCraft? It was a big deal. That's why I put it in the news so that we could tag it.
No, unfortunately, I don't could not.
A lot of people. I know that you were about to say who gives a shit, but a lot of people really care.
No, people give a shit. Yeah, lots of people, millions of them.
Whole nation, really.
Okay, so let me say this: I personally could not give less of a shit whether StarCraft is back or not. Mm-hmm. It doesn't change my life in any way.
What if they put it on the Nintendo Switch, though?
Still not interested, really.
What if you could use your finger as a mouse? That's Jason. Do you have any other news? Because that's all the news that's fit to print.
No news. No news is good news.
Let's move right along into games that we played, huh? What game you play? You want to go? You want to talk about a game you played? I beat a game, which I know you don't do anymore. So, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I don't do it anymore. I played this week. I played Streets of Rogue.
Oh, you did, huh?
Which is sort of like a weird top-down, open world GTA kind of.
Yeah, people like this game quite a bit. It's tiny build.
I guess. I played probably 20 minutes of it, not like a whole ton of it. But a very funny, they sort of tell the story through this tutorial at the beginning, and it's very funny and interesting, and it seems like it's got a lot to it. There seems like a lot of mechanics to kind of unlock, and I don't know. I don't have a ton to say about it, but it's cool. It's cool.
I've heard some chatter about this. More. People seem to like it a lot.
There's this cool system where you get these powers, and you can warp through walls and stuff. Looks like
there's 2-player. We can play it on the show.
Oh, that'd be fun. Is it
online co-op?
Mm-hmm. It has online co-op.
That's what it said.
Yeah, let's fucking play it.
Let's play it.
It seems dope, and maybe I can finally convince you to like a roguelike.
I like roguelike games. What are you talking about? I just don't like Binding of Isaac.
FTL. Did you play FTL?
No.
Yeah.
I hear good things. Also, the strategy element of that is something that I probably would not enjoy. Like the management sim part of FTL is what turns me off of it. But no, I didn't play it.
It's not management sim at all.
Well, you gotta watch and see when doors are on fire and shit.
Yeah, but that's I don't know. That's easy. It's a bit. It's creating a build from the items that are available. There's a little bit of micromanagement stuff that maybe you would be into or not, but
yeah.
It's a really it's really about I need to get this weapon and I need to upgrade this particular part of my ship to because I need to get ready for this horrible boss battle that's at the end. It's the worst. It's one of the most difficult ones that I've ever encountered in any game.
Who else? I think Jacob really liked it, right? Somebody liked it.
I've beaten it twice on normal.
Mm-hmm.
And I've played maybe 300, 400 runs.
So that's FTL. Pick it up on iPad today.
Yeah, it's really brutal. It's the most brutal game that I've played to completion, I think, probably.
But I don't have anything against the genre roguelike. Really, but I like the Bobo version rogue. I like Rogue Legacy quite a bit. But that's more of
roguelite.
Yeah, that's more of a procedurally generated platforming game than anything else.
Yeah.
So with you have those weird traits and stuff when you die, but anyway.
Yeah, and there's you built the castle. So
there's you build that castle.
Mechanic.
That's true.
Yeah, it's pretty roguelike-y.
I like that game a lot. Played a lot of that.
Actually, game. the thing that the thing about Binding of Isaac that I really liked was
how it was poop.
Just
how at it and there's poop everywhere.
Yeah, just how you look at it and there's poop everywhere. No, I liked how all the items were a secret and like you didn't know what they did. Like it was kind of gave you a hint, maybe what
like
they
Toe
did.
Jam and Earl.
Yeah, just like Toe
It is
Earl.
like Toe Jam and Earl. That's what it was.
Oh,
Toe Jam and
my.
Earl's the first roguelike. A lot of people don't know.
A lot of people don't know original roguelike was Toe Jam and Earl.
Toe Jam and Earl for real did have that though. Like you would get an item and you wouldn't know what it did, and you would just have to like hope it didn't kill you. That's a real
Yeah.
that's a real mechanic in that
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, that's really fun. I
No,
like
it's not.
that kind
That's
of
not
mechanic.
fun. Not when you're
That
8
is
years
fun.
old.
Yeah, I guess so. I just remember bouncing around in Toe Jam and Earl, not really knowing what was happening.
Yeah,
Because I think I was probably very, very, very young when I played that game.
yeah, for sure. Everyone
kind of
that's like
bounce
into video
around.
games now was too young when they played Toe Jam and Earl.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. If you're not like 42,
If you're
at
not
least,
40 something and in the business, then you did not like Toe Jam and Earl growing up.
yeah, because you were just like, what's happening?
Yeah, it's impenetrable. We should play Toe Jam and Earl. Maybe figure it out.
Oh yeah, remember Boy and His Blob? That's another one that was like, what the fuck is this? What's happening right now?
Yeah, I remember renting it and being like, "Mommy, take me back to Blockbuster. Don't like it."
Take me back. Don't like it too hard.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Don't want to play it. Let
You
me
know
see
what?
if I can. Let's go take a trip down memory lane. I remember that my mom brought me a game home one time because it was new. Let's see, SNES game, Green Suit Boy, Get Shrink. There it is.
Harley's Humongous Adventure.
Google, that makes me nervous that Google can Google can parse me. Let's talk about a game that I played, maybe.
Okay, great.
I played a solid amount of Beglitched, and we talked about it a little
yeah.
bit. We talked about it a little bit on the show last week. This game is really, really good.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Like I thought it was going to
It's
be
the-
like, oh, kind of fun, but like it's deep, man. Like the mechanics
Yeah.
are super deep.
Yeah, I think it might be like one of the best mobile games like that I've ever played.
Mhm.
Like it has a depth to it that not a lot of other stuff has.
But also it doesn't, like, I think it kind of does explain to you what you're supposed to be doing, but not
Right.
really. Like it lets you learn what's happening in an interesting way. Like you'll do something and then it will tell you that it was the right thing to do.
Right. Yeah.
Which is I always appreciate that. It gives me room to like learn the game without being told exactly what to do.
Right. Yeah.
Doesn't hold your hand, you could say.
Yeah. It doesn't.
But I can try to kind of describe it. Maybe it's like a weird mixture of there's a minesweeper mechanic to it for sure. In that like when you're standing on a certain like this, what we're looking at here is battle, which is completely separate from like the overworld style thing, which is this here. So there's like a minesweeper kind of mechanic to it in that like the terminal will tell you what it's connected to, but not what is it itself, right? So like it's like in Minesweeper with the ones and the twos and stuff. Like I have 2 bombs attached to me. I have 1 bomb near me, stuff like that.
Right.
And you have to parse out which of these is the exit out of where you're trying to go. And if you should happen upon an enemy, then you go into this like weird. It's not quite match 3, but it kind of is.
It is. Well, it is a match 3.
There are match 3 components, but that's not what wins the
you
game.
match 3 things.
Right.
But
So-
what wins the game is you. There's hidden behind the whole grid is an enemy, and they sometimes move, sometimes they don't.
Oh, the ones that move are.
Yeah, and you have cash, which you can spend on like programs that you can run. I think
I'm not to that
correct?
yet. I'm not to that yet. I don't think.
It's you use your items like scan and stuff. I think.
Yeah,
right?
I haven't used any of that in battle yet. I've been using because you can match 3 like compasses together, and it will then if you have enough compasses on the board, it'll point to where.
Yeah,
point
so
to where
you
the
match
enemy
3
is.
compasses together, and they turn into a super compass.
But then, like, you also have to match. You also have to like get a bomb on the space where it needs to be.
Right.
So, like, if the bomb is like in this screenshot we're looking at here, if the bad guy was on this blue one that we're looking at, and you move the bomb up like that, it would match 3, and then you would lose the opportunity to hit that bomb because it would all like slide into this one.
Right.
And that would take away what's called a cycle, which are turns, and then you get like 6, I think, what I've been seeing. But you get 6 turns, and then at the end of the 6th turn, the enemy will hit you, and you'll lose a heart. So if you don't get these pink computers to get more cycles.
Right, to get extra cycles.
Yeah, like if you can't match 3 computers to get extra cycles, then eventually you'll lose all your health and you'll lose. Yeah. And it's very, very good. I got one more, but it's a big one, so we'll talk about it for a while.
I played Infinifactory for a little bit.
Oh, we talked about that a little bit on something.
Yeah, I think it was on the podcast because I was like, oh, I want to play that because we, and it's I'm intrigued. I'm gonna play more of it. It's like
did that say Build Factory?
It's like it's like Portal a little bit.
Build Factory. Okay.
It's like make product. So basically you have like these blocks that it's like Minecraft but with like you like put together these like blocks that like that you need to get to like this thing to like to make the number go up. So like basically you create these things. And then like but there's all these like different little things that happen. And there's like this whole meta story about like I guess aliens taking over. Okay. And you're like imprisoned.
Obey.
You have to like build these factories for them to get out, I guess. I don't know. But it has like a real Portal like atmosphere vibe, and then like kind of like weird, crazy Minecraft gameplay.
This looks really good.
It's awesome. And like I was really pleasantly surprised because I had heard about it and like but had never really like knew what it was. Mm-hmm. And it's completely subverted my expectations. I had no idea that it was going to be this. Yeah, it's like from 2015.
Wow.
And it's really good. And I think it didn't get enough attention. Like some stuff that I maybe will like, it's a little tedious, like to get it just right, to get the puzzle solving like exactly the way you want to.
Sure.
But it's very rewarding. So I thought it was great.
You got anything else before we do my last one? Wrap it up.
No, that's all I played. Right. Other than
Okay. I finished Horizon Zero Dawn. From Guerrilla Games, which is like the people that made the Killzone games. This is quite a departure from that for them. A little while ago, we live streamed the first hour, and we were all pretty positive on it. It is important to kind of realize the environment in which this game came out, which is a post-Zelda world, right? So, like, it came out maybe the week
pre-Zelda.
It came out the week before Zelda, but unless you like powered through it in a week, like I did not, there was a time where you quit playing Horizon so that you could play Zelda instead. Right. And you're kind of at that point too, even though you weren't really playing Horizon anymore anyway. But I quit playing Horizon because I was really enjoying it. I quit playing Horizon to play Zelda. Zelda is a better game wholesale. Like there's nothing to say about that because Zelda is just better than Horizon is. Like, end of story. Still though, Horizon is like if we're talking about top 10 lists, which at the end of the year, Zelda for sure will be number 100%. There's no way that anything beats it because I can't do Overwatch again. So, but Overwatch so far Horizon seems like a top 5 contender for me for sure.
Right.
I really liked the combat. Like once I got out of Zelda mode, because the combat is very different. Once I got out of Zelda mode and kind of zoned in on that combat, it felt really, really good. Like using time slowdown and like, really learning how to effectively kill machines. It took me longer than it should have to like really get into, how to properly kill the robot things, like how to look through your focus and see what their weaknesses are and stuff like that. And then that took me longer than it should have, and that really opens the game up and brings a different kind of strategy to it.
for sure.
That
I feel like
really
I played
enjoyed.
a good bit. I feel like I played a good bit of Zelda, and the combat in Horizon is a lot more complex, I think.
Oh yeah, for
Um,
sure.
Yeah, like it's a lot more strategic stuff happening. I mean, the set pieces in Zelda that I've seen so far are pretty straightforward.
Well,
Like,
you haven't fought a big boss yet, right? You haven't beat a dungeon yet.
I haven't beaten a dungeon, but
The dungeon
I have.
bosses are
There is
the,
that boss at you have to do like after the stealth mission. There's a little boss.
what was it?
The Yuga clan boss, the funny man, throw a rock at
Oh
you.
yeah, but so the dungeon bosses in Zelda are the combat there is much more reminiscent of Horizon actually.
Okay, cool.
And it really, and a couple of them, I don't remember if the one that you're about to do is going to be like this, but a couple of them really rely on you really understanding the flurry rush thing, in order to be successful. But a lot of them are like shoot something specific with an arrow, so slow it down, and, you know.
Yeah.
But so Horizon, like there's this whole since the last time we talked about it, I've kind of gotten a little more into the meta of the game, which I think Thomas probably could have spoken to before me, because I just was trying to like play the story because I thought the story was really interesting. But there's like the upgrades and the elemental stuff and all that is like there's a really deep gameplay there. That I really liked. The different weapons that you can get, because you like one bow that I had, like my end game gear, one bow that I had was shot really fast, but it could only shoot fire and then like hard arrows, which were good for breaking armor. Then I had my slow bow, which was very good from far away, and it could shoot it can shoot like these pulse rifle ones that like break armor off really easily, or a very precise arrow that would kill people in a headshot, but it took forever to like pull it back all the way. And then I had another bow that was specifically for frost and shock, so I could shoot something that was vulnerable against ice or electricity. So I had all those three elements covered, and then I also had the Ropecaster thing where you shoot them and tie them down, which was the way that I played. There's like I bought a sling just to see if I liked it, like a slingshot thing. I didn't really. It was kind of like a grenade style thing. I didn't really enjoy that. And then there's also the Tripcaster where you lay traps, like lay tripwires, but I didn't find that especially useful because a lot of the higher level robots it doesn't phase them. They just step right through it. So anyway, it took me, I think I looked it up, it took me like 24 hours to finish it, which is not super long, but I was like mainlining the quest pretty hard. The thing about Horizon that's different than Zelda in that regard is that there's always, you can turn it off, but there's always like a little indicator of like, here's where you need to go next to finish this mission. So if you just do that, like you can finish the game in relatively short order. And I did it that way because I didn't enjoy exploring that world like at all. Because of the locomotion of how Aloy moves, like it was very Skyrim-y, and like you could like jump diagonally up a mountain if you needed to, but a lot of times it didn't work, and it really felt like you weren't supposed to do that. Versus Zelda, where it's like, no, you can go anywhere and do anything, like just climb up it, it's fine.
As long as you have a stamina potion or whatever, you can probably get up any.
Right, like by the time I was done with Zelda, I can climb anything because I have 3 stamina wheels. So like that's disappointing in that regard. But the combat, like the boss, the final boss, and all of the big machines and stuff like that, the combat in Horizon is, you feel like you have really done something when you beat something in that game. Which in Zelda, like it feels like. It doesn't feel that way always. Like the bosses, it kind of does, but when you're just going up against a bunch of Bobokin things, it just feels like you swung a sword and you hit them and they died. Especially later in the game, when you're kind of one-shotting people once you get the big swords and stuff. But this game, like especially the last like the final fight thing that I did this afternoon, that it really felt like it was testing how good I was at the game, which I didn't always feel that way about Zelda. I felt like Zelda was more about exploration and discovering things, and this game was more about like, hope you know how to shoot. the arrows really well. Yeah. So and like the last little thing, it was interesting because you do all these quests or whatever, that are leading you to figure out the whole point of the game is like who are you, where'd you come from, and you do all these quests and you get right up to the end where it's about to tell you who it is, but then it does this thing that I really hate, especially in open world games, where it says you didn't do a quest earlier and you have to go back and do it. Because the point of an open world game is that like if I made it here, I'm done. Like I skipped the quest. I shouldn't have to go back and do it. And it was like, no, you got to go back and do it. And that really made me mad because I was like right at the end of the game. Like it would have taken me another hour or so to finish. Instead, I had to go back and do all these like this crazy quest line from like midway through the game, and go back and do that. And it took me like another 3 or 4 hours to finish. So I really, really hated that. But I really like the story. Like I think that the story was really, really cool. I think that it wrapped up really nicely. Like a lot of games don't do that anymore. But it of course, like after the credits, there's a fucking like, like they had to build something in so that there can be a sequel. But
Horizon 2.
Yeah, but the end of it was like really satisfying as an ending. Like I called what she is pretty early on in the process, or where she came from, I guess I should say. But it was still like it's still a neat universe. Like I
don't think I'll be surprised either. If I
no, you won't. I don't know how far you've gotten, but no. Pretty early on, it's pretty apparent like what's going on. But like the world around that is really neat, and the reason behind like why the world is the way it is, and like and where the machines came from, and like what all what the cauldrons are and stuff like that. Like that was all really, really neat.
Cool.
But yeah. Also, I didn't do it. It also punishes you for not doing side missions at the end, and I really didn't like that. Like there are these things in the game. I don't think you've been to one yet called cauldrons, where they're like little dungeons, and you do them, and then you learn how to take over certain robots and convert them to your side. I did one of them, and then like one of the next to last things was one of the robots can be invisible, and like if you can't take control of those robots, it's fucking impossible. So like I had to backtrack all the way to the one where you get that, and then do that dungeon, and then go back and do it again. So there's a little bit of it should have been more of a linear narrative, I think. Because it shouldn't have been open. No, because they're just like, it's an open world, and then they're like, well, it's not really. You still have to like do these things that we said were optional, but they're not. So if it was just like a linear, like Uncharted style game, it would have been the same game for me, because I just like, followed the yellow diamond the whole time. But anyway. Horizon Zero Dawn. That's another game that I've beaten this year. So I'm 2 for 2.
You're beating them all.
I am. That was my New Year's resolution in 2016. So I think that this game, overall, I would say that this is an excellent game, especially if you don't have a Switch and have a PS4. It's really, really good. But it shouldn't have been open world. Should have been a story-driven game.
Just leave it.
Yeah. Should have been cinematic experience for sure.
Sure.
But hats off to Guerrilla making a game that's not a first-person shooter, and it being fucking excellent. Like one of the best third-person action games in a while. Yeah,
it's really polished. It is really like I remember playing it. It's been a couple of weeks, but like it was just like it was kind of like wow. Like there were a few moments where I was like, yeah. That feels right. It feels really, really good.
It looks really good. One of the only problem aesthetically that I have with it is like the only place that you can hide and cover is that tall grass. Like that, they should have that mechanic should have expanded at some point in the game, and it does not. Like it just is always like it's red grass and you have red hair, so they can't see you. But like I kept
Never thought
thinking
of it that way.
I kept thinking, I was like, at some point I'm going to be able to like get prone or something, and it never happens. So anyway, that's the Probcast, and we played Horizons. I played Horizon Zero Dawn, and I beat it, and it's a good game, and you should buy it. And thanks for listening. If you have found us somehow audio in an audio capacity, please visit bit.do/pb YouTube. To look at all the fun videos that we post on YouTube. If you are on YouTube and you found this video and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I don't really care if you like the video or not. I would rather you subscribe because we don't have that many subscribers. And that means more to me. So you do that.
You do it. Thank you.
Did you beat Horizon Zero Dawn? Leave it in the comments.
Yeah, talk to us. We would like to hear from you.
Yeah, interact with us. We guarantee we'll say something back to you for sure.
We will. For sure.
Because we love our fans, and I'm cutting all the stuff out about our fans. So,
thanks. Bye.
Bye. Let's sync it up.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1.
Me clicky Facebook.
I think we found it.
Whoops.
We found it early.
All right, now, look what we did.